what is love? The fact that love is being blown out of proportion and is actually being misdefined and misunderstood and is being expressed in a self-destructional manner today. So now with that being said, there's two types of love. There's emotional love or spiritual love, whatever terminology you want to use, and then there's intellectual love. So now with that being said, when we're talking about love, right, first let's go to the definition, right? When you look at the definition of love, it says a deep, intense feeling towards something, and it also says a deep, intimate, or sexual attraction. So now we can see that the definition of love is purposely being distorted by the producers of that definition to give you a misconception on understanding of the word. So now with that being said, you can have a deep sexual attraction towards something and not love it. But now we can see that on a level, on the subconscious level, the word love is being equated with sex. Hence, why people are mistakenly using sex or physical practices to try to express their feelings all the time, when it's not that serious and that's not the case. So now with that being said, let's go to the emotional understanding of love. First of all, love is the natural expression of compassion. It's really, you can't really define it. It's really non-verbal. It's an empathetic feeling. Love naturally is non-conceptual. It's non-contractual. So you can't, when you put a definition or a conception on something, you lock the mind in to that certain thinking module or process. So that being said, if you was to walk up the street, right, and you seen a baby, no matter what race the baby was, black, white, Chinese, whatever, Puerto Rican, whatever. If you seen a baby in the mud on a rainy day crying, parentless, abandoned, it's a natural capacity in you to come to the aid of the child. Period. Whether you take it home with you, whether you call 911, you will do something that will put that child in a better place. That is love. A positive act that is rewardless and is unconditional, and you're not even looking for nothing back from the act. So now with that being said, that innate ability is in everybody and everything on this planet. So now with that being said, that's the emotional standard for love. Now the intellectual standard for love will be the understanding that everybody and everything on the planet has free will, right? And that it has the choice or disposition to make their or its own choices. So that being said, love is not forceful, and love is not something that you have to convince somebody of joining. Love is understanding that people have their own paths to walk on their own if they so choose. So now let me give you an example of why intellectual, the second capacity of love, which is intellectual, is very important. Because somebody can claim they love you, but intellectually they don't have the capacity to be compassionate and be positive or uplifting to you. I'll give you an example, right? You about to, let's say you can't pay your rent, you about to lose your house, or you're in an abusive relationship, or you just got shot, or you just got out of jail, or you're just in a bad position in life right now, right? Your grandma loves you, your mother loves you, and guess what they do? Pray, pray. When you gotta pay your rent, when you a single mother taking care of them kids, when you a black man and it's hard out here and you trying to get it and trying to be positive, motherfuckers don't come to your aid financially. You need financial help, but what do? They pray. And they tell you, we love you, baby, and we pray for you. And we going to pray to Jesus and make it better and this, that, and the third. And you end up going through the entire trial and tribulation by yourself. And at the end of the road, they say what? We was your family and we loved you. And we was always there for you. But technically, they was never there for you. All they did was pray during times in order to substitute their physical action or involvement that was needed at the time. And they substituted their physical involvement, which was needed at the time, for prayer. So that being said, I'll give you one more example. Let's say you just now getting out of jail, right? And your man sell drugs. And he said, yo, bruh, you know I got love for you. You my little bruh. I'm going to give you a brick and I'm going to give you a gun. And you can get out here and get you some money. So he gave you a medium for you to get you some money. And he gave you a medium for you to protect yourself while getting some money. And you say, that's love. My man looked out for me. But he's only loving you in the intellectual capacity that he can, which is in a street manner. Your family is only loving you in the intellectual capacity that they can, which is in a religious or church manner. They can't actually provide anything for you or love you because they have not learned to love themselves intellectually with the truth. So now let me give you an example. Religion is a lie and Jesus doesn't exist. So your parents could actually never help you because they haven't helped themselves. Your friend that hypothetically gave you a brick of cocaine and a gun, he says he loves you, but he just set you up to jail for life or get killed. So with that being said, we have to define what is love. Because if a motherfucker say they love you and they looking out for you and they give you something that's actually going to potentially make your situation worse or not help at all, how is that love? So now if we can answer the question that that's not love, then we have to ask ourselves, according to the definition or the expression of love that this planet has been holding for however long, motherfucking love is destroying the planet. If that's the case, the way we love ourselves is self-destructional. Because everything that everybody does for somebody is conditional. It's not all based off the first circumstances or the analogy that I gave that would be manifested if you ran into the abandoned child. It's all conditional and it's based off incorrect ideology. So if a motherfucker say, oh, I love you, I'm going to put you on and let you meet the connect. Motherfucker, all you doing is get me to a situation for the feds to come get me. You're not getting me to a situation where I could make the same amount of money and not risk my goddamn life or be taken away from my family. So, if a female say, oh, I love you, and I'm going to get you a job at my job, and this job is causing you to degrade yourself, all you did was put me in another degrading situation. Now, it might be temporarily helpful, but in the long run, it's going to destroy you. So, that being said, if you struggling financially in life, and the motherfucker say, I love you, I'm going to pray for you, or motherfucking life is getting hard and ain't nobody helping you. They just, oh, I got you in my prayers. That's not love. All you're doing is nullifying or pacifying the situation, or you potentially making it worse. So when we talking about what is love, love is not a describable frequency. It is a natural innate ability to aid and assist unconditionally and compassionately and purely. That's what love is. So even in relationships, when we talking about I love, right? Or somebody say, I love you. Relationships today are not based upon those premises. Somebody is not coming into your life to better you, okay, unconditionally. Because, let me pause, let me dwell on that subject. Motherfuckers will come in your life and do something for you, and you don't even got to be in a relationship with them. They could be a family. They'll come in your life and do something for you, but then they want to dangle that shit over your head like you owe them something, or you're in some type of form of debt because they helped you out. So that's not even love. So that being said, love is, if you even talk about relationship, whether they family relationships or spousal relationships, when somebody comes into your life and wants to see you do better and will stand by you mentally and emotionally, unconditionally, based upon the fact that you will do the same for them. And there are verbal understandings made, okay, that y'all make to each other as far as the do's and don'ts in a relationship to keep each other emotionally safe. That's what a relationship love should be. But today's relationship loves, whether they're family or spousal, are not unconditional. They're basically contracts. You're not even in love. You're in a contract. You're in a conditional situation based upon certain stipulations. And those stipulations are, I'll be with you physically, aka sexually, okay? As long as you don't do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So if you do anything that I don't like, or you do anything that my ego is uncomfortable with, I can't be with you. So with that being said, you got motherfuckers right now in relationships. They have no intellectual capacity. They have no consciousness of what's going on in the world. All they care about is the small things that go on in their own individual worlds. And they've drawn a sexual attraction to each other, an emotional attraction to each other, to where they want to establish a permanent connection predicated upon conditions. And these conditions are 9 times out of 10 stupid as hell and foolish as hell, but they're important to the small-minded person. As soon as one of these conditions become made unfollowed, or they become loosened within, as far as make an analogy, once the nail becomes loosened in the wood, now they're ready to dismantle the whole relationship. But it never was a proper relationship in the first place, because it was never unconditional. It was never pure. It was never, the initial meeting setting was never for somebody to say, hey, I want to see you do better. It was, hey, I'm physically attracted to you. How can I make you to where only I interact with you the way I want to? And then once I do that, how can I keep that the way I want it to be? Here's the conditions. As soon as these conditions get broke, now everybody's hurt. But you're hurt over something that you actually never really loved. You only egotistically were fond of. So with that being said, when we're talking about what is love, what the fuck is love? Because a person can love you and disrespect the shit out. A person can love you and set you up and get you killed. But a person can hate you and respect you